So Nikhil Kamath, welcome to Davos.
Hi, Sonia.
And thanks so much for speaking with the Moneycontrol. It's been a very sort of a day where it's sunny, it's cold, it's not, and so are the conversations, some really good ones, some not so you don't know what's happening. Key takeaways for you so far?
Yeah, it's different. I think nobody expected warm weather, and
Yeah.
we didn't dress appropriately. So we're all carrying like big sweaters and stuff like that, which is probably redundant today. Not many highlights so far because it's just been one day. We had an interesting dinner where we got to interact with counterparts from different geographies across the world. That was fun. Today there were a couple of good sessions. There was one with the Karnataka CM, which was quite intriguing. It was about Save Soil, Sadhguru's pet cause.
Yeah.
I think getting increasingly relevant today, soil, and the need for us to kind of treat it not as a irrelevant thing, but more as an asset class even. That was interesting. I have a session now about impact of inflation and interest rates.
Talking about that,
Yeah.
that's another key issue, right? I think across the street, there have been two issues that have been so dominant. One, of course, is the war. And the other thing that you hear constantly is about inflation, the sort of soft recession that is perhaps coming in. How is the startup ecosystem looking at that?
Well, it's going to be tough. When the cost of money goes up across the world, I would say inflation in America is a bigger issue for us than inflation in India. The risk-taking appetite of that money will probably go down, logically. If the Americans were able to borrow or the Japanese were able to borrow at 1 or 2% and invest into India, and in a year from now they have to borrow at 4% or 5%, I think their risk-taking equation changes considerably. We've had such a bull run in startup funding in India that, we will probably see some amount of correction in the pace of money that has come in. But I think par for the course long term, India still remains extremely exciting. You talk to anybody here in Davos, everybody's really excited about India. I would go to the extent of saying foreigners are more upbeat about India than Indians are upbeat about India today. So I think it'll be like a short-term issue, but long-term I think we should be okay.
Yeah, I was talking to another unicorn out here, and they said that, the minute they hear two words, India and tech, they're like, dude, who are you? I want to talk to you. So that's the sort of confidence really that's built up across the globe because of the entire ecosystem in India as well. But this conversation is happening at a very interesting time. We've had layoffs back home in several startups and several unicorns as well. I was talking to Nitin a couple of days ago, and he said that, of course, you guys are okay for the next 5, say 6 years, but the worry really is for the young startups at the moment. Do you have an identification or sector-wise, how do you see this impact coming in?
Well, when anything goes up very quickly, it probably comes down at some point as well. I don't think that is the end of the cycle. Maybe it's a correction and hiring picks up again. I don't think it would be right to critique industry hiring maybe 100,000 people and then firing 5,000-6,000 people, because I get that the impact is stark and acute on the ground. But relative to how well the industry has done, I think the correction has been nominal. So I hope things turn around. A lot of these people are in my ecosystem. They live in Bangalore, which is also where I live, and the pain is felt by everybody. But I'm hoping it's a short-term thing and things turn around fast.
But has that changed plans internally? Expansion plans, the way you were looking at the industry earlier?
We are a very cyclical business ourselves. If markets do well, we tend to do well, and if markets don't do well, we do not. Right now, markets are not doing well. So if the cycle were to turn, which I've been attempting to predict what the market will do for about 18 years now, I have never been right. I don't think I would be right in making a prediction today. But I hope it turns at some point and there is a bull run, and we all need to hire more people and we get to grow and everybody does better.
Right. But if this bear run were to stay for some time, as what a lot of predictions are saying, and things continue to happen the way they are happening in US right now, the impact in India is going to stay for at least 12 months or 14, as people are saying here.
Well, traditionally, I think whenever inflation has risen fast, we don't have many tools to kind of counteract it. I think the Reserve Bank in India, the Federal Reserve in America, the only thing they can do is tighten money supply, right? I think interest rates will eventually have to go above inflation before there is some kind of containment.
Right.
So if we were to assume in India inflation is 8% today, probably similar in America, at some point I would not be surprised if interest rates are above that. And that cycle will be slow, and I do not think it will turn in 6 or 12 months, but it will be a multi-year cycle.
Multi-year cycle. That's a key there. But listen, we are here. This gorgeous Davos view as well. Something that you're looking forward to do?
Well, I think we are all kind of like trying to fit in so much, and we have like 4 days here, so we're all doing like 20 meetings a day. And
This is not your first Davos. You've been here earlier.
I've been here before.
Yeah.
But I have the Indian markets which start at 4:35 in the morning, so I have to wake up early as well. So it's really a stretch for the next 4 days. But hopefully, we find some time in between to kind of like make friends and do stuff like that as well.
Yeah. I also wanted to know that since the startup ecosystem in India is so huge now, lots of young men, women really dominating that sector, is there like a good communication, camaraderie between all of you? Is there like healthy competition going on?
Yeah, totally. Like the Bangalore cohort, we're all friends.
I
we all
see.
catch
Okay.
up. Like I have a dinner at home every fortnight where everybody comes. So I think it's healthy, and nobody's really competing with each other. I think we catch up, socialize, share problems, because many of us have similar problems. And it's a good ecosystem. I think the Bangalore bunch is... they're nice people outside of being, good at what they do or having scale startups.
So, outside Bangalore, listen in. All right, so there's a very direct messaging out there. All right, Nikhil, thanks so much for speaking with Moneycontrol. Good catching up.